Hello, and welcome to Why Did My Builder Do That? The weekly podcast that will answer your questions about home design, home building, and much more. Of course, we will be asking, why did my builder do that? But sometimes we will ask, why didn't my builder do that? Or, will my builder do that? Or even, does my builder know about this? Each week, we will tackle new questions and hopefully provide insight into designing, choosing a builder, building, financing, and even maintaining or remodeling a home. From time to time, we will be looking at why or how something went wrong, but we will be asking about new building products and new building techniques. Along the way, we will also be talking about building standards and warranties. We invite you to email us questions, and we will make every effort to include them in future podcasts, or at the least, we will send back information or a comment on your questions. Email us at WDMBDT@gmail.com. Why would my builder do that? Join us now for Why Did My Builder Do That?
Hello, and welcome to Why Did My Builder Do That? This is another podcast of ours in a series of several, hosted by Gary Dunn and myself, Joe Bronson. We'll go over some details today. We'll talk about a few things, and we even have a guest. So at this point, we'd love to introduce to you Bill Lavelle. Bill is an individual that we've done business with over the years. He's with S&T Bank, has wonderful programs, but most importantly, it just has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the mortgage industry and has been a tremendous help to many of our customers get into whether it be new homes or existing homes. Bill, welcome.
Thank you, Joe and Gary. Thanks for having me.
Well, Bill, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what it is you do and length of time and just anything you want to say?
Sure. Yeah, I work for S&T Bank. We're a regional bank headquartered out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we lend here in Ohio and PA. Those are our two areas that we focus on. We do a lot of construction lending. I've personally been doing this for about 20 years. Probably the last 15 focused primarily on construction lending and renovation loans and whatnot. So it's our specialty, and we're excited to do it.
Well, that's exciting. Well, thanks, Bill. Well, you know what, guys, let's just jump right into it. We've got some questions to ask you, Bill, if you don't mind. And some have been ones that we've come up with, and some of the ones that some of our homeowner or potential homeowners have come up with. And the first question I'd love to ask, and when you mentioned construction, is how do we go about financing a custom home?
Okay, it's not dissimilar to a regular purchase loan for a house. The application process is the same. Only difference is you're closing on a loan and making some interest payments before the house is complete. Other than that, the approval process, the closing, it's primarily the same as buying an existing home. The trick is a lot of the prep you have to do up front. You got to locate the land that you want to purchase and build on. You got to choose your builder wisely, obviously, and vet and interview them. But the process itself is really the same as buying a home. Eligibility wise, loan to value wise, it's very similar.
Great. Well, another question that we've got is, what are some of the loans or the type of loans that you do offer, whether it be construction or whether it be for existing purchases?
Sure. For construction, we have a pretty wide list of products we offer. We have fixed rates, we have ARMs, we have specialty products for medical professionals, lawyers, nurses, firefighters, police officers. So it's a pretty robust product list we have. It bleeds over into our normal purchases as well, those same specialty products. We can do as little as 5% down, Gary, on construction or purchases. And with some of those specialty products, eliminate PMI insurance for a lot of folks. The main piece of our program is the one-time closing. So we lock the rate in for the customer up front. They don't have to worry about what pricing does, during the 8 or 12 month build. They're secure and safe, and their loan just automatically converts to that fixed rate at the end.
That brings a question up for me, Bill. With some builders and some build times really extending out, is your typical term 12 months, or is it even longer in some cases, or can it be longer?
Yeah, Gary, we typically set it up for 12 months right out of the gate at closing, but then we can extend it easily out to 18 months. What we do is about month 10 or 11, we check in with the builder and the borrowers, and we just say, hey, are we on pace to be done within that 12 months? And if it doesn't look like it is, then we extend it at that point. We usually try to
Great.
give a month or two. We wouldn't want to extend it 2 months and then you end up needing 3 or 4. So we try
Sure.
to be pretty diligent about it during the build if we have to extend it. But we give you 12 right out of the gate.
Is there a fee for that?
No, that's a good question. No, there's no cost to extend it out to 18 months.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, you mentioned just a little bit earlier when it comes to LTV. I think first of all, a lot of our homeowners possibly they don't even know what that means. So it'd be great if you can offer up an explanation as to that and ratios and so on when it comes to construction loans.
Sure. Yeah, so LTV is loan to value. So it's the percentage of your home's value versus your loan. So in other words, if we can go up to 95% loan to value, it means you only have to put 5% down of your project cost. And when I say project cost, so we're talking about the entire build project, your lot price plus your build price would equal your project cost. So when we say you can put as little as 5% down, it'd be 5% of that total number there. Debt to income wise, we're a little bit more liberal than a lot. If you have an existing home to sell, we will not count that against you as long as you're going to provide us with a statement that your intention is to sell it during or after the build period. So we cannot count your current mortgage payment against you, which helps a lot of folks. And the reason we're able to do that is because we know during the build you're only going to be making interest payments. You're not going to be making a full payment yet. So we're able to give us some breathing room with the debt ratios as well.
Man,
Wow.
that's fantastic. I don't know of any other lender that's ever even spoken those words around me. So that's fantastic.
I'll tell you a secret. It's the only lender I've worked for that does it either. So we're
That's
pretty
great.
happy.
Yeah, that is. Oh, goodness. Well, and I think we talked about this, but just to reiterate, interest rates being locked. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I've heard at different times you've spoken about rates being locked, but potentially could go down during the process. Is that possible?
Yeah, our construction is a great feature. We'll lock a rate in at pre-approval. So if you apply for a pre-approval with us, we'll lock your rate in at that point, and we can hold it for up to 6 months while the borrower plans with the builder. So it's to give them time up front to get all this stuff out of the way and not have to worry about what pricing is doing. We just want to have you close within 6 months of locking in, starting construction. During that 6 months, though, Joe, if the rates fall, so if I locked you today, but you're not ready to build for another 4 months, if rates fall during that period, I can float you down so you don't miss out on it. If they go up, conversely, you're protected. You keep your lower rate.
Wow. So that truly is the best of both worlds, for darn sure.
It provides great protection for the borrower.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks.
Yep.
Well, when it comes to the builder being paid, obviously my understanding is that draws are taken care of and processed. How exactly does that process work, and what's required for each one of those draws?
So when a builder is ready for a draw, Joe, they'll usually reach out to me directly, and they'll just say, hey, we're ready for our foundation draw or frame draw, whatever it might be. At that point, we order the inspector to go out to the property. The inspector's just going out and visiting the property to make sure that at least, reasonable amount of the work's been completed that we're being requested to pay for. So inspector goes out, tours the property, then they'll send us back their checklist of what's been done. And at that point, we send the borrower an authorization form. And as soon as they approve it, we release the funds to the builder. It takes about a week from start to finish, generally, for the funds to hit the builder's account. But there's protection for everybody involved. We have an inspector going out to view the property. And then, of course, the last line is the borrower has to authorize it as well. But I think it helps the builder and the borrower work pretty closely together.
Okay.
Let me ask you a quick question about that, Bill. I had a scenario a few years ago where we added a pole barn into the project, and essentially we had a company that was just going to do the whole thing as a turnkey under our contract, and I guess I was a little bit naive about it, but we got ready to start, and they said, "Oh, we need a deposit of 50% of a $50,000 total project for them." Is there any way to at the beginning to create some sort of additional draw for things of that nature? I know you typically wouldn't want to lend for without the work being done, but is there anything that can be done on a scenario like that?
Yeah, we can occasionally, Gary, upfront money like that. As long as you said it best, though, as long as we know about it upfront, we can find a place to do that. What throws a wrench in it sometimes if it comes up, like you said, during the process, that can be a little harder to happen. But as long as we have it all laid out up front, what the expectations are, we can generally work with it.
I'm going to ask you one here because I'm no longer building, but I'm doing a lot of consulting and doing plans and so forth. And I get homeowners all the time asking me, can I act as my own contractor? Can I be my own builder? And I know that used to be popular years ago, but is that something that you're able to do or willing to do under certain circumstances?
Not really. It's hard to do that. If somebody has experience building, they don't have to be an active builder now, but if they have a resume or a history of constructing homes, then we can sometimes make an exception for that. If there's an obvious history doing it, if they're not currently building any houses or not in the industry, it would be almost impossible in this environment.
Okay. What about a scenario where, I mean, well, I'm an old man, so I've been building a long time, but I'm not the builder. If I was acting as a consultant, is that something that could be considered under those circumstances?
Yeah, that should have been part B to my statement. That's absolutely right. Yeah, we can use a consultant like yourself, just like we're using a GC. I would just get a resume from yourself or a lender, and just with your history and your resume, and that would work as well. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks.
Well, I guess another question that we actually get quite often, and that is, do you have the availability to do loans for renovation, remodeling, anything adding on to our house or whatever the case may be? Is that something that is in your war chest?
Yeah, we do quite a bit of it. It's actually the exact same product, Joe, the construction loan. It functions the same way with the draws and the loan to values and the different programs we offer. Exact same product. You would just consider the existing home, you'd look at it like it's the lot price, for the house. But it's the exact same approval process and everything else. Same rates, same programs.
That makes sense. I mean, that's we're starting to see more and more of that. People sometimes are staying put versus going new. So
trouble finding the inventory, I assume, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a struggle. So.
Well, it's not just the inventory. It's, that they're in a neighborhood that they love and they don't want to leave. I mean, that's the most common theme is we love it here and we don't want to move to Ashland or, Chillicothe. We want to stay here in Central Ohio. So.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're paying a premium to do it, right?
Exactly.
Well, Bill, this is an opportunity for Bill Lavelle to, as we always say it in some of our other podcasts, to do your commercial when it comes to not only just S&T, but you yourself, Bill Lavelle. And tell us once again about you and S&T. That, I guess, what do they call this? This is your elevator speech. So quickly let us know.
Yeah, well, we're passionate about construction lending. We love working with builders and their borrowers. It's just something we have fun doing. And after 20 years of doing it, it's all I know how to do. So there's no slowing down for us right now. But we'd obviously love to work with anybody out there thinking about, but if you're just in the process of thinking about it or getting started, love to chat with you, work as a consultant or even just give advice when needed. We're here to help.
Well, that's great.
That's great. Thanks.
Congrats on your first podcast.
Well, it's our first podcast having a guest.
Right,
So that's pretty exciting stuff. And we have come to the end of Why Did My Builder Do That? And talking with Bill Lavelle and S&T Bank in regards to programs that are available for them and programs that would be available for us to guide you when it comes to selecting a builder, when it comes to selecting a home that is out there that's existing, and even talking about the possibility of finding a builder that would be able to do remodeling and renovation and so on. And remember that any questions or any comments that you might have, please be certain to email to the email that we have on this slide. And possibly in our future podcasts, we can build a podcast around your questions that you might send in or comments that you might send in. So With that being said, look forward to seeing you again. Look at our website for other podcasts that we will have on there, and also webinars that we've also got available for you from that standpoint. So, Gary, Bill, I'm going to sign out and say thanks so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.